All right, so we're back and ready to really dig into this Premier League rematch. I mean, talk about a quick turnaround, right? Brighton and Chelsea just went head-to-head in the FA Cup last week, and now they're at it again.
Yeah, I mean, can't get enough of each other, I guess.
Seriously. This time, though, we're at the Amex, Brighton's home turf, and the stakes are high. Both teams need this win for different reasons.
Definitely. Brighton, they're trying to snap this winless streak at home, while Chelsea, well, they're battling to stay in that top four.
Exactly. And, on the surface, it seems like, well, pretty straightforward, right? But we've got some really interesting articles here, and the more we look at this matchup, the more complex it gets.
Yeah, it really does. It's kind of like a tale of two teams, each with their own set of hurdles to clear.
I'm glad you brought that up because when we look at Brighton, their recent home form, it's really kind of puzzling. 5 games without a win, 3 draws, 2 losses.
And let's not forget that 7-0 shellacking they took from Nottingham Forest. I mean,
Yeah,
ouch.
that was brutal. You'd think they'd be like desperate for a win in front of their home crowd, right?
Absolutely, you'd think so. But here's the thing. They've been like really strong against the top four teams at the MX.
Yeah, unbeaten. 2 wins and a draw. So it's like they actually step up their game when they're facing the toughest opponents, but then they seem to struggle to find that same intensity against, well, everyone else.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? And that's one of the big questions I think going into this match.
Absolutely. And, speaking of head scratchers, we got to talk about Chelsea's away form. No wins since mid-December, 2 draws, 3 losses, and all their remaining away games are against teams in the top half of the table. That's a tough road ahead.
It is. It makes you wonder if their inconsistency since Christmas, is it just a blip or is it a sign of something deeper going on?
Especially when you consider, they had that amazing 12-match unbeaten run before the holidays. What happened?
Right. Did all that holiday feasting slim them down or something? I mean, probably not, but
Probably not. But, I mean, in all seriousness, this match feels like a real litmus test for both teams, a chance to prove that they can overcome these recent challenges.
yeah, I agree. And that's what makes this rematch so interesting, right? It's not just about the points on the table. It's about the whole narrative, the psychology, like individual battles within this bigger war.
Oh, I like that. And speaking of individual battles, Chelsea has kind of had Brighton's number and recent history, 4 straight wins before Brighton took that FA Cup victory last week. But there are a couple of players who could really change the game this time around. We got to talk about Brighton's Georginio Rutter and Chelsea's Cole Palmer.
Oh yeah, they've both had their moments against their opponents in this fixture, haven't they? I mean, Rutter's been involved in 10 goals this season, and 3 of those have come against Chelsea.
Exactly. He's got that, that pace. He's direct, and he seems to like thrive in these big games.
Yeah, he does. And Palmer, well, he seems to have a knack for scoring against Brighton, doesn't he? I mean, 4 goals in that 4-2 win earlier this season, and he even scored against them last season too. He's dangerous, that's for sure.
He is, but I'm curious. Both of those guys are such strong attacking threats. How do you see each team trying to kind of neutralize their impact?
It's a good question. I think for Brighton, they'll probably try to use Rudder's speed on the counterattack, exploit any gaps Chelsea leaves when they push forward. And as for Palmer, Brighton's going to have to be really disciplined defensively, deny him space, don't give him time on the ball.
Yeah, it'll be a real tactical chess match for sure. And speaking of fascinating tactical things, we were looking at the stats, and it turns out that Brighton hasn't scored a single goal in the first 20 minutes of a home game all season long.
Wait, really?
Yeah, not one. They're the only Premier League team that can say that. I mean, what's going on there?
That's wild. I wonder if it's like, a deliberate choice by their manager. Maybe they're trying to lull their opponents into a false sense of security and then bam, strike late.
It's so strange, isn't it? I mean, could it be a tactical thing? I mean, we were reading those articles you sent over, and it seems like Brighton's approach at home, it's definitely more conservative than when they're playing away.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're like prioritizing defense at the Amex, waiting for that perfect moment to hit on the counter.
Could be. But it's a risky strategy, don't you think? Especially with their recent struggles at home.
Yeah, it's a gamble for sure.
All right, so we've got Brighton. They're wounded, but they're still dangerous, and they're going up against a Chelsea side that's really fighting for consistency and that top four finish. Both teams have their strengths, their weaknesses, and they both have their own unique story going on this season. It's going to be a clash of styles, a battle of wills. I mean, this match could really write a new chapter for either of these teams.
Absolutely. And the big question is, will Brighton finally break this home curse and, unleash their attack? Or will Chelsea overcome their away game struggles and, really assert their dominance?
It's going to be a good one. And, we've really dug into the key storylines here, the potential game changers, all that good stuff. But, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this thought. Given Brighton's slow starts and their, more cautious style at home, could it be that they're actually saving their energy, their firepower, for a late-game surge? I mean, it's a bold move, but it just might be the key to unlocking their home form and maybe even securing that win against Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. It would be pretty amazing to see it play out that way.
Right. So that's it for our deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See ya! 5TCE.